If you've had the eerie impression that rats are running wild on New York City sidewalks lately, the statistics back you up. New York City has always been known for its rat population, but there has been a significant increase recently. According to a recent estimate, there are now up to 3 million rats in New York City, nearly a 1 million rise over the previous decade. They've profited from food waste left by COVID-era outdoor diners, as well as recent cuts to the city's sanitation department, creating the perfect storm for a rat explosion, according to Julie Menon, a city council member from Manhattan's Upper East Side. Her office was inundated with rodent complaints. We were literally hearing from parents about rats running across their children's feet as they're walking them to school. It's frightening, it's unsettling, it's unsafe, and it's unhealthy, said Cheney Marcus, a member of the East 69th Street Association, which has complained about rats on Upper East Side sidewalks. Last year, city health inspectors reported over 60,000 cases of rodent activity throughout the 5 boroughs. That compares to around 30,000 rodent citations in 2021. City Hall attributed the doubling of rat sightings to the fact that health inspectors visited more premises last year than the previous year. But that's not the whole story. Before the pandemic, in 2018, health inspectors observed approximately 31,000 rodents during 255,000 premise visits. Inspectors made 5,000 fewer home visits in the year 2022, but detected 93% more rodent activity than 5 years ago. Residents, companies, and policymakers have suggested various possible causes for the rat outbreak. Some report increased foot traffic as the city recovers from the pandemic. Others blame construction activity for disrupting rodent burrows. Councilmember Julie Menon, Democrat, Upper East Side, blames trash pickup cuts during the outbreak. The sanitation budget went down considerably during COVID. Then there were all the sheds and tables that were set up outside. That led to more rats, and the problem wasn't resolved, Menon said. Now it's reached a breaking point, a crisis point in the city. In 2022, Menon pledged $10,000 to fund a unique type of rat extermination along East 86th Street. The plan calls for the use of a machine that pumps carbon monoxide into rat burrows beneath sidewalk tree pits. The number of initial health inspections to detect active rat signs roughly doubled in the most recent years. According to health officials, 15 instances of leptospirosis have been reported this year, the most since at least 2006. Leptospirosis can cause catastrophic liver and kidney damage and is commonly spread in the city by rat urine. One case was even deadly. So, in addition to dealing with the aftermath of the COVID-19 outbreak, New York now faces a rat infestation. According to certain metrics, the situation may have alleviated slightly before coronavirus arrived. However, the rodents have roared back since, thanks to a combination of conditions. Health officials argue that the increase is greater in already affected areas. Jean O'Hearn, a lawyer, said she hadn't seen that many rats on her block, East 3rd Street between Avenues A and B, in 28 years. As if on cue, one darted out from under a white SUV approximately 8 feet distant and crossed the sidewalk. "Oh, there they are," shouted a neighbor, James Gilbert, as the rodent squeezed through a side door into a courtyard behind Miss O'Hearn's building. Seconds later, 2 more rushed across the street towards multiple trash bags. According to specialists, exterminators, and city officials, the perfect pandemic storm scenario that is driving the increase is as follows. When restaurants closed, rats were forced to hunt outside more. They discovered trash-filled gutters and street corner baskets as a result of last year's sanitation department budget cuts. Illegal dumping has also significantly increased recently. Beginning from April 1, 2023, New Yorkers will be penalized for putting their trash on the curb before 8 p.m. in the latest attempt to reduce the city's excessive rat population. So far this year, New York's sanitation department has received almost 21,600 complaints about rats. That represents a nearly 71% increase since October 2020. City officials attribute the alarming surge to the pandemic, when work-from-home laws and outdoor dining restrictions cast a 5 o'clock shadow on sidewalk trash containers regularly. New York's midnight trash collectors presently haul approximately 5 million pounds per night, which accounts for only 1/4 of the city's total round-the-clock collection. In contrast, rats require only about 28 grams of food per day to survive. This isn't the first time city leaders have guaranteed death by diet. While serving as Brooklyn Borough President in 2019, now Mayor Eric Adams gazed over a pile of rat carcasses lured into a vat of lethal chemicals by sunflower seeds and Oreo cookies. "Everyone who knows me knows one thing. I hate rats," Adams stated earlier this week. "When we began killing them at Borough Hall, some of the people chastised us and accused me of murder because I was murdering rats. So you know what? We are going to kill rats." Despite years of effort to scare or kill the rodents, which may carry and spread parasites and disease, rats are nevertheless common in the city, appearing on the subway, in trash cans, and simply wandering down the street searching for their next meal. Muncie South and other specialists, including Michael Parsons, an urban rat researcher and Fordham University visiting scholar, agree that rats aren't the actual enemy. Parsons previously said that real city rats are the men and women of bureaucracy and their 2.5 centuries of bad practice. Ms. Corradi needs to change to science-supported steps rather than unproven gimmicky approaches, Parsons said, citing examples such as depending on unproven methods like composting to reduce rat populations. Instead, he suggested that city officials study rodent biology, clean during the day when rats are less active, and build a more efficient waste disposal system for the entire city. Muncie South also believes that people are more of a nuisance than rats, who are simply looking for food to survive. For rats to go away, everyone in the city, plus our restaurants, schools, grocers, must be willing to address the fundamental issue of food waste, Muncie South, writing in the New York Times, wrote. New Yorkers waste roughly 6.5 million pounds every day, which amounts to as much as a pound per person. To really have fewer rats, New York norms of takeout and eating outside would have to change. With a citywide population of over 8 million people, according to 2022 census statistics, Corradi's mission may be more challenging than she anticipated when she took the $155,000 per year position. She may have been ready to deal with the rats, but Parsons believes the key to her success will be to understand that rat control begins by changing people's habits, hygiene, and expectations. Mr. Barber, the citywide leader of New York City Housing Authority Tenants Associations, recently took a writer and photographer on a tour of the Andrew Jackson Houses complex in the Bronx. Mr. Barber claimed that at the same time the day before, a pregnant mouse ran across a garden near a group of men playing dominoes. She was huge, he explained. There were no rats visible on this day, but there was plenty of proof of their presence. Burrows and tree pits crammed with rocks to prevent nesting, which experts say is a useless effort. New York City officials have been trying to find a way to get rid of this rat problem, but to no avail. What is the best way to solve this problem according to you? Tell us your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel before you leave.